And welcome back to the Crochet Crowd as hosted by friends over at yarnspirations.com. Today we're going to do the Dashing Holiday Throw. Really quite an easy pattern to be able to maintain. The only difference that you're seeing in this is that it's got a color breakdown in order to create the lines. So what we're going to do is once we get started, it is a repeat of 2 rows and that's it, going throughout this whole thing, and then there's a quick little border in order to do it. If you want to do the pom-poms, great. If not, that's okay too. So today we're going to be using a 5.5mm size eye crochet hook, and it's also recommending Red Heart Super Saver today. So let's begin, and we're going to work on this, and let me tell you the breakdown for this pattern as well. So the pattern has 2 pages, and if you would like to change the size of this, so maybe you want something smaller or bigger, the multiples are 17 plus 1. So 17, 17, 17, and at the end of the chain just add 1 more and you will be good to go. So without further ado, let's grab our hook now and let's begin. So I'm going to leave the color breakdown for you. In order for you to do that, you can just look at the pattern and see the order in which everything is going. So colors for A, it's going to be rows 1 and 2 is going to be A, just to get ourselves started. So we're going to begin, and you can chain 154 to begin if you wish, or you can do the multiples of 17 plus 1. I'm going to do it multiple because I just want to do a small sample. So you just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Either do the multiples of 17 or chain 154. I'll see you back here in just a moment. If you decided to do the multiples of 17, don't forget to add that 1 on the end. If you did 154, you're ready to go. So we're gonna go 3rd chain from the hook, and we're going to start in the down motion and then go up the peak, or sorry, up to the peak and then down to the valley. So peaks and valleys today. So we're gonna go 3rd chain from the hook, so just count it back. So 1, 2, and go to the 3rd and turn it over and get the back hump of the stitch and just double crochet. If you go into the back hump, you get a nicer edge and just double crochet. So that's technically going to be 2 together double crochet the way that you're looking at it there. So when you're at the bottom of the valley there, and we're on the edge, there's only 3 of these that you have. So you've already got 1 done. So we're gonna do 2 together over the next 2 chains. So we're just gonna wrap the hook, pull through and pull through. So it's a 2 together double crochet, and do the same thing with the next one. Pull through 2 and hold. And once you have your 3 loops, pull through all 3. So that was the second one of the group at 3. Let's do one more like that. So we're just gonna wrap the hook in, pull through 2 and hold, in, into the next one, pull through 2 and hold, and then pull through all 3 loops. So because this is an edge, there's only 3 of those, but on a regular valley there will be 6. So over the next 5 chains, we want to do those fun little puff stitches. So to do those, before you begin the puff, make sure you chain 1 first and then puff into the next. So to do a puff, you're gonna wrap the hook and going into the chain and pull through, and then you're gonna do that again. So wrap into the same chain, pull through, okay, and then wrap and one more time into the same chain and pull through, and you got a hot mess on your hook. So what you need to do at this point then is that we are going to just yarn over and pull through all 7 of those loops. Take your time and pull through all 7. And that was your puff stitch. You're then going to chain 1 and do the next chain just like that. So wrap and in, pull through, wrap and in, pull through, and wrap and in, pull through. Be relatively loose with this because you have a hard time getting it off your hook. And what we're doing is we're going over the top of the peaks, and we're only doing 5 of these in a row. So pull through it all, chain 1 to finish, and then do the next one just like that. So in, pull through, so wrap and in, and wrap and in, and then once you have that, pull through all of it and chain 1. So we got 2 more to do. So the next one, don't forget the chain 1 and 1 more. So there's only 5 in the peak, like 5 of those puff stitches, and you're gonna notice the project is gonna start waving on you, which is what you want it to do. So pull through it all and then chain 1. So once you have that done, starting in the very next 2 chains. We're gonna do that 2 together and we're doing 6 of those in a row. So wrap and in to the next chain, pull through 2 and hold, and wrap and into the next one, pull through 2 and hold. Once you see 3 loops, you're done. Pull through all 3 and move on. Let's do 6 of those in a row, and I'm gonna quieten up as I do it. That was 2 of 6. It's 3 of 6. Four of 6. It's 5 of 6, and we're gonna do one more. And once you have all 6 done, that's it. You're ready then. So if you lay this down, you'll be able to see the up and down motion. So this was sweeping around the bottom of the valley. This is the peak. So the next 5 in a row are just what you already know. It's the puff stitch. So wrap and into the next chain. Oh, before we begin, don't forget chain 1 first. You need to create that space so it will bend, and do your puff over the next 5 stitches, and make sure you chain 1 in between. Why don't I leave that with you, and then you just do that, and I'll see you back here in just a second once I get all 5 in a row complete. So I've just now done 5 in the peak, and now I'm ready to go down. So I'm just gonna go up and down. So in the down motion I have 6 2 together double crochets in a row, and then in the up motion I have 5 of these puff stitches that have chain 1s that separate them. So once we get this done, is that when you get to the edge you should have the right amount of stitches left, and you should have, if your counts are right, and if it's wrong, honestly I would just fake it and pull out a stitch if you believe that you're right. So just do 2 together for the next stitches that are left, and there should be 3 only on the edge because there was 3 on the other side, and I'm out of stitches. That means my stitch count is right. That means multiples of 17 plus 1 are confirmed. So when you lay this down now, you'll see the up and down motion. So the long chain that you did have is going to be compressed, and that looks pretty awesome. Let's begin our row number 2, and we're gonna keep this color on for this particular one. Again, you can change colors anytime you wish. So row number 2, whenever we complete it, is always the same. So let's begin. We're just going to turn to work and chain up 1, and we're gonna do a single crochet in each of these stitches, but also into the chain 1 spaces that separate the puff stitches. So you'll go into the puff but also to the chain in between. So starting in the first one, you're in the first top of the first 2 together. So you can either count it or you can just look for it. Just watch for these puff stitches because that'll give you an indication that there's a chain 1 before it, and then you go into the puff stitch, and then the chain 1 after it, and then the puff, and this will help separate those puffs from each other. And you're just gonna do that all the way across. So as you scoop down through at the bottom section, remember there's gonna be no chain spaces at all, and then you're just gonna go in, and there's only 6 of these in a row. So if you're not sure which one to go into, you can see the tops. So 1 2 3 4 5 6. So don't do this one because that was a chain and it looks like it's a stitch but it's not. So just make sure you do your 6. So this is the second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth, and then you got your puff stitch again. So you're just gonna go waving up and down. So go into the space before it, go into the puff, go into the space between the puffs, and then into the puff again, and do that all the way across. And I'll see you at the end of the row and just be right back in just a moment. When you get to the other side, there's only 3 stitches left, and then that will be it. Now in this case it's asking us to change colors. So whenever you want to change colors, this is what I would do if I were you and you were me. I would simply just cut my yarn, and you can weave in stuff when you really want to, but you may want to put it through a tapestry needle, which only takes a few seconds once you get used to doing it. So just taking your yarn. This kind of needle, I got it from an independent yarn shop, or sorry, fabric shop here locally in Nova Scotia. I have no idea who makes them. I didn't recall the brand. I just thought it was kind of neat. It's just easier to feed the yarn on there. So that might be, I keep getting questions on that, but I don't really know the answer to who makes them and where you can find them yourself. So go back and forth a total of 3 times, and then it'll never fall out on you. And then once you have that done, you can just trim it right to the project, and when you lay it back down, that's the end. So when you lay it down, make sure that you lay it the other way so that you can get it to go. So that's where we ended. So that was the end. So then that means we're gonna start and go that direction. Let's begin row number 3, which is already what you know. It's just not using a chain this time. So row number 3 is what we're going to start with, and you're going to start in the first double crochet or single crochet that you had ended with, and it'll be right there. And we're going to start with the double crochet. So watch what we're going to do. We're just gonna attach it and then chain only 2, 1 and 2, and then double crochet into the next single crochet, and that will count as the first 2 together stitch. If you chain 3 instead of 2, then that would be 2 double crochets, but because you chain 2, it comes together. Laying the straggler down on the side, or so it can go over, the next 2 are 2 together as well. Remember how many 2 together were on the edge? It was 3. So 3 is what you're looking for when you go to start up. That helps you to know that. So we got our 3 2 togethers. We're then gonna go up over top of the peak, and to do that, if you recall, you're just gonna chain up 1 first and then puff into the next stitch. And then chain 1. Okay, and then you're gonna come into the next one. You're gonna puff. So you pull through everything and then chain 1. And you do that 5 times in a row. Okay, I got one more to do. And chain 1, and now the next 6 or the next 12 stitches you'll end up having 6 2 together. So starting in the next one immediately, start gathering them and doing 2 together over the next 2 stitches. So that was 1, and then do the next one and its friend next door. This is 2 of 6, and this is 3. So the third one should take you halfway through the indentation. This is 4, 5, and 6, and then you're gonna chain up 1 and start your puff over the next 5 stitches just like you had done before. Okay, so you're just gonna puff. Make sure you chain 1 in between the puffs. I have one more puff to do, and if you're right, you're just gonna keep on going up and down right to the end, and if you're right, there should only be 6 stitches in a row at the end. So make sure you chain 1 before you start that on the end, and then just put the last 3 in there so it stretches over 6 stitches. It's kind of hard to explain that. And finally the last one. And there you go. So this is the end of row number 3, and it said to switch to the color A. So then you'll change out your colors depending on where it is on the project. If you're finding that the waves are shifting a bit, it means that you may be off a stitch. So then the bottom may be shifting over too much, and then the top is then leaning over the other way. I find people when they do these, they could get confused. There's always ways to fudge it if you really have to, but that's just one of those things. So let's just review the next row, which is what you already know because we've already done it in row number 2 before. So doing the next row is what you already know. So there's only 2 rows that exist on this thing, and you're gonna come in the top of the first 2 together, and you're going to do your chain 1 and make a single crochet in that one, and you'll do that a single crochet in each of the stitches plus the chain 1 spaces as you've done before. Okay, make sure that you do, just use your fingers if you can't see it, make sure you do go into the spaces also, don't forget those, and also to the puffs itself, and just going up all the way across. And I think you already know what you're doing. So this actually pattern has a border to it, and you can either put it on or you can leave it off. It's up to you. I will explain it to you, and this is an experience level. It's one of the highest levels there are, maybe because of the border itself, but I will explain how it's done, and then you can decide what works for you. You can have the color breakdown exactly what the pattern states. Just follow the pattern, just make your notes and just kind of work it on out. One thing that I've noticed when I do the space here, the first stitch is right here. This here is part of the chain 1, so don't forget that. If you're not sure, there is only 6 of those, and just make sure there's 1 single crochet in each of the 6s. And if you get that wrong, then what's gonna happen is that you're going to be out of alignment. So just continue to do this all the way across, and I'll explain the border in just a moment. So eventually you're gonna get to the border. I'm not gonna demonstrate it here because this is advanced level, so experience level. So what it is that it's telling you to do 1 single crochet in each of the stitches going across the tops and the bottoms. Now when it's a solid color like this, what's happening is that you're just gonna make it the same color so that it looks like it's consistent. And if you really look at the pattern, you will find that on the outside here, do you see how the red kind of like goes over on the outside? So when you're on the edges, you want to keep the edge as the same color, but when it changes to the other color, you want to switch out your yarn to the other color that's here. So you're just gonna equally space then your single crochet along the edge. So this, in this case, you want to favor the one color, so they're favoring the red when it comes down. So on the corners, what they want you to do is just put in 3 single crochets to turn, and just equally space out the stitch work as it's going down. Now using in crochet, because if it's single crochet, then you can just put a single crochet at the end of the single crochet line, but when it's double crochet, you just have to eye it out and just make it kind of work. Usually there's 2 crochets that make up a post, but sometimes you have to add in an extra one. So you just kind of go down through the side. Once you get all the way to the other side, you want to make sure that there's 3 single crochets in the last one, and in this case I'm going along a foundation chain, so I want to make sure that I'm honoring what I see in order to keep the balance. So here is the 2 together, so I'm just going to maintain that and just put in 1 single crochet in each of the stitches, and just kind of make it work, right? So you just need to change out your yarn colors whenever you're doing anything. So in the gray section you'll change it to gray, and if you don't want to change the color, then don't. And then if you don't even want to put a border on, you pretty much don't have to, because it's gonna look pretty good as it is. So you have to decide what is going to work for you. As you're scooping around, it'll just follow, but you will end up have a blanket, as you can see in the pattern, with the nice arcs on the end. If you want to do pom-poms, that's up to you. I'm really not a fan of pom-poms on a blanket, but we do have tutorials available to you to do pom-poms, and you can attach. You may want to attach it in a way that you can unattach it with like a bow tie, but I don't see that on this pattern. I don't see that they're attached that way. But if you need to wash it, then you'll want to have them so they unattach. You'll have to decide the way that you're going to use your Afghan and etc. So that's it for now. It's Mikey on behalf of the Crochet Crowd. So it's my friends over at yarnspirations.com. Have a great day, and we hope this was of help to you. We'll see you again real soon. Bye bye.